morning. Good, mate. I'm good.
How we doing,
Yourself?
sir? I'm good, mate.
No,
Thanks
no
for coming
problem.
on, mate. I appreciate your
No
time.
problem, mate.
Just looking back at your last fight, mate, I want to say well
Thank you
done.
very much.
I think that's the
Aye.
best I've seen you perform, mate. Honestly.
And the worst thing was I
Um,
was no well.
how was
That was
that?
it. No, I was fucking ill, man.
Were you
I
not
ended
well?
up bedbound for a week after that fight. Aye. But
Were you?
I could have been stopped earlier, but I wanted it to go the distance, you know what I mean? Just everybody thinks I'm a fat bastard when people don't realise I've got a proper injury. Do you know what I mean?
Aye. 'Cause I've seen.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've known you for a good few years now, and I've seen like some of your
Yeah.
sparring and your doing your pad work
Uh-huh.
and stuff, and you look very awkward. Obviously, people don't think that when they see you on pads and stuff,
Aye.
but as soon as they get in the ring with you, they know
Oh no,
that
I'm
you're
awkward
very
as fuck.
tricky.
I'm really, really awkward.
What was the plan for the Kassim
Well,
Salim fight then? Were you just going to take it round
because
and
of the
round, or were you
levels,
looking
what
for
the
a
coaches said is
stoppage?
if you don't knock him out in 5, we'll pull you out. So that was the incentive. And I said, right, okay. And then I just decided in the first couple of rounds, because I seen him gassing already. I was like, I'm going to take this 10 and just embarrass him. But I got to the point, the point where the referee had to jump in. A lot of my shots were all arm punches and stuff. They weren't, there wasn't a lot of venom in the shots because I did wanted to go the 10. I just want to prove to people that I can still do 10 rounds. You know what I mean? Which you shouldn't need to do, but when you were 24 stone and fighting at a point, you kind of need to prove yourself as fit. Do you know what I mean?
The last couple of punches that were in were good solid shots as well.
I mean, there was that kind of element
there.
I started getting a wee bit fucked as well, and I was like, I'll put a bit of meat in them. Do you know what I mean? So I put a bit of meat in the shots, and then
How was that for you then? Like being the Scottish heavyweight champion? I know that means a lot to you.
Not only was I the first ever cruiserweight champion, I'm the first person to be simultaneously the cruiserweight and heavyweight champion. You know what I mean? Or simultaneously, anyway. Simultaneously.
I was looking for your record. Like you've had some good fights, man. Like you fought in Italy, you fought in that boxer tournament as well. You were unlucky not to go through. Looking back on your career, like what's like is that Scottish heavyweight title your best
winning that title? You can't. The video doesn't even do it justice. The crowd there was phenomenal. Sam Kinnock said it's the best. It's like a couple of people said to me privately, and they were like, that felt like a stadium in a hotel. The crowd was amazing. And Sam said it's the best. I think it's the best atmosphere he's ever had. And because not only did I have about 150 people plus people that I knew there already. Kazim brought up 80 people for them frees. You know what I mean? So the room was amazing. But that night trumps Madison Square Garden in my eyes.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was going to say you've been to America, you've been to Italy, you've been to Ireland and stuff. Look, going back, mate, like how did you first get involved in boxing?
I was 13 stone at 8-year-old, mate, and played football, and I played in goals, so I wasn't even running about. I don't know if you can hear this fucking dog walking about, but I was just a fat Wayne. My auntie's pals, her kids were going, and it was like, oh, why don't you go and try the boxing? They're just straight away. The boy was Sherman McDermott, God rest him, he's passed away. He thought I was a different boy. He thought I was a boy that's already been to the gym, and he put me in sparring the first night I was there. So I was 8-year-old and I was sparring with a boy at like 15 just because of the size of me. I don't get me wrong, you've been thinking, but there was one point I slipped a shot and I landed a big right hand and just something clicked in me. I was like, oh, I fucking love this shit. And since then, so
took to it.
What, I'm 25, I'm 17 years.
You're a night.
Yoker,
you were born in Yoker. That's my gran. I used to go up to night shoot. She used to stay up there. I was born in White Inch.
Well, was White Inch that the gym was? That was really the first time I went. Aye.
Sorry, was it?
Aye.
What about your amateur? Did you do much amateur stuff now?
If you look at my amateur book, I filled a book and a half, I think. Aye, but I only had 16 fights. So because of the size I was super heavyweight from 13 years old. So I had about 70 exhibitions. So no decision contests because an exhibition basically means I wasn't in the same age bracket. So I might have an exhibition with a guy who chucked it after. I was 15-year-old. It was over in Edinburgh. And I battered him pillar to post. I dropped him twice. And he came out and he was like, "Oh, thank God that wasn't a fight, Ken." I was like, "No, I know. It's like, it's because I'm only 15. And they laughed. And he was like, No, how was it not a fight anyway? And I was like, because I'm 15. Chucked it after that, never heard him again. I think he was like mid-20s, you know what I mean?
Aye. Because you fought quite a lot at the Crown Plaza, didn't you? How
It's
do you like
just
fighting there?
across the road for me, mate. Nice because I just stay across the road. You walk out at the venue. I can get pissed after a fight and it's stumbling distance home. Do you know what I mean? It's but no, it's just Crown Plaza is becoming the home of Scottish boxing now. Sam runs sometimes fucking 3 events a month in there. It's a great venue. It's a nice, classy venue and stuff. But I prefer, like, so when I was going to box in the Hydro, I asked them for 1,500 tickets. Do you know what I mean? They gave me 90, and then so I had to let a lot of people down. But I prefer they kind of ticket prices. You know what I mean? But it starts from 40. I was able to get that at the Crown Plaza there, but that's the first time.
Because they do like complimentary dinners and drinks as well,
tickets start at 100 quid, so I hate it that way. But it's a cracking venue, you know what I mean? It's became like a wee fighting home for me. Like I know all the staff, I know everybody there. Do you know what I mean? It's just.
There's a wee question for you there. What was that Icelandic vodka you were drinking after the fight?
Well, put it this way, mate. I've still not finished it. It's fucking wild.
I seen your picture after it with your takeaway and stuff, and I was quality that.
I keep telling people I ate it all, right? But it took me 2 days to eat.
There was a fair amount of food there, man.
In the Chinese where it's just where I'm fair. Like I went in the big man, well done the fight. And I was doing my Moz bit. I was doing in Scotstoun actually, Stormfield. So down there, and I went down, and now I've ordered for there before, and I've got for me, my ma, my 2 brothers, and it's maybe like 60 quid because I a fair amount myself, right? And he just kind of started dragging up what I was ordering, and then he was looking at me. He's like, right, and right, okay, and prawn balls and chicken, and pork balls, right, okay. And then he was going through. This was on my end as well, and he just went. Give me 50 quid, big man. He just took a couple of bottles of ginger and all. I think the total would have been about 90.
For fuck's sake. Just looking back, like travelling out to Italy, what was that like for you? Did you know much about the big man before you went out there?
I was confident for the fight, but obviously, if you've watched the fight or anybody's watched the fight, you'll know that I dislocated my thumb. So I lost my right hand a couple of rounds in, and that was an injury for the fight before where I'd done that as well. The thumb's alright-ish now, but I mate, it was what an experience. What a fucking place as well, Rome. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to do with boxing and it's what you'll see in this next one as soon as I get the contracts through. I'm not allowed to say it, mate, but I mean, there's 8 people watching, do you know what I mean? But I'm meant to be fighting Rafael Agjabaro, I don't know his fucking name. It doesn't matter, I'm not releasing his name because I don't fucking know it. Big Nigerian boy, he's 15-1, so I'm fighting him for the WBA International in the Cayman Islands in the Caribbean. But that's what I wanted to do with boxing, was travel and see the world doing what I love, you know what I mean? And fucking...
I heard you in another interview, you'd said that they were booing you when you went in, and then when you went to the end of the fight, they were cheering for you. See when Rocky fights in Russia, that's what it was like in Rome. So I was walking in, I've come out, I shaved exactly what I've done here, just get fed up in my head and shaved it.
Big shaved head, ginger beard, walking about like a big Viking, had the fur pelt on, and they were all boo. About 5 rounds in, and Guido was really laying into me, and I just dropped the gloves and I let him hit me 4 times. I'm like, come on, let's go, as he was still hitting. And he just stepped back and he was like, he done that with his face. He was like, what the fuck? And the crowd just started going, Jay, 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 Jay. It was like, it was just like a whole turnaround. It was fucking unbelievable, mate. Like the whole place after. I actually felt a bit shit for Guido, because Guido came out the ring and then went back to his changing room. I came out the ring and I was swarmed. They were all over taking pictures and they were like, amazing. Everybody does this. It's not a stereotype. Everybody does this. Amazing. You big man. You have so much heart. And it was fucking unbelievable, the reception I got after. It's a funny one with Rome. So for some reason, they didn't tell us with that. They told us that we were coming to the after party. They really wanted the after party. I got on with the guys and all that. And then nobody would answer the phone when I was asking where it was. So we went back to the hotel. Me, Jerry, Stephen, we're all fully adrenaline. Sam Kinnock, he doesn't drink, so he just goes back to his room and goes to his bed. He's a weirdo and he wants to get up early for a fright. He doesn't want to run a bit mental, do you know what I mean? So we're looking for a drink. The hotel bar was shut. But because my hand had swollen up, I was holding it across me, and up like this, right? So I've walked over to the bar, and one of the guys for the promotion that doesn't drink either, he wasn't at the party, and he's like, oh, I'll see if we can send a car. And then he said, oh, no one's answering. I'm like, I fucking know nobody's answering. So we went on, me, Jerry and Steph, full of adrenaline, we're raging that we can't get a drink to bring us down a bit. And I've started shouting and bawling. I was like, for fuck's sake, what the fuck's this all? Just creating a distraction. As I put my hand above the bar and stole a bottle of Absolute. I stole a litre of vodka and put it in my toe. And I was like, oh, fucking, you brutal, just talking pure shit. Well, this is brutal, man. I've come over by here, got my money, be after party, blah, blah, blah. I went into the lift, the 2 of them were raging. And like, that's a fucking joke. I was like, it's alright, boys. I pulled it. And it was, that was just one of the moments in the trip. It's like fucking, it makes it, do you know what I mean?
Look back at your fight with Thomas Carty. I loved the build up.
Me and Tommy are mates.
Fucking brilliant.
Me and Tommy are mates, and I got him to genuinely hate me. And it was the worst thing I'd done, because I brought the best at them. Do you know what I mean? Because I believe I could beat Thomas Carty, but I brought something nasty out of him. But that's what it is. No, it was a good buzz, man.
I think it was that. It was that spit handshake. I think it was. It was a spit handshake.
No, see, that's just something I do. It's something I see. I'm meaning on something, spitting on to go to shake. I don't know why I do it. I don't know why. Nobody I know does it. It's just installed in me for a pikey background, probably. I don't know, man. At all. But it was just that way. It's like, I'm doing it this, you know what I mean? It's like private school. And I hated it. See, when I kept calling him private school and fucking all that shit.
Like you had a bit of a beef with Nick Campbell as well, didn't you? Did you talk to him at all? No?
Sometimes I talk to him, and then sometimes he's really, really arrogant. Do you know what I mean? He started trying to have a go at my... Obviously, I've had addictions with narcotics, you know what I mean? And I put on my story, I said, look, see when Kazim gets it, I'm going to defend my Scottish title against Nick Campbell. And he started going, oh, Jay McFarlane must be back on the gear, he's taking lines. And I was like, right, okay, you think it's banter because you've not got much, but it is fucking addiction, you're fucking me here, do you know what I mean? I'm pretty thick-skinned, I don't really care, but it was more my family's sake and stuff at sea and all that, so. But that's what it is. I've got a blocked nose now. Sorry at the weekend as I snagged it. But no, it's bye mate, that's what it is, man. They're not interested in fighting. See, before I went in to fight Kazim, because Nick Campbell didn't have an opponent for the week after, Billy Nelson, who trains him, he had Kieran Tarleton fighting on the show. And I said, right, well, I'll beat Kazim and I'll fight Nick on Thursday. And he was like, no. I said, aye, well, he's not got an opponent, and I'm here. I'm winning this tonight, so I'll fight on Thursday. His ass started sewing buttons. He's like, oh, no, we can't do that, we need, because I sparred with him, and he didn't get near me really in the sparring, do you know what I mean? And it kind of showed the levels. Because I turned up to that fight drunk, do you know what I mean? That was the way my head was at the time. And it kind of showed the levels a bit. He vacated the belt, so I couldn't fight him for it again.
Because I'm sure, did you know Hux?
He nearly went down twice in the sixth with body shots. Fifth, I rocked him twice with right hands, and then in the seventh I rocked him as well, but I just did nothing left. I mean, I was asking to keep going. That was why Kenny, the referee, stopped it. He's like, Jay, mate, I'll be a bits, man, but you can't do that. You know what I mean? Because I was just taking everything I had, because I knew it wasn't going to. It was nothing left in that 8th round, which is when I just stopped kissing him. Do you know what I mean? Because I know I can take it. Do you look back and think, like, if I had done things properly, I done a total of 3 training sessions in the 8-week camp. If I done 5 training sessions, I would have beat him. You know.
Does that bother you?
Well, what's the point? I can't change it. So what's the point letting it bother me? Things like that used to really bother me. About, I regret doing this, regret doing that. But, well, I can regret it and wish I never done it, but all I can do is adapt and move on. I can't change what happened. You know what I mean? It happened. And that's just an ethos I take on in life in general. You know what I mean? It does.
Reason,
and you make mistakes, you will make mistakes, and I'll keep making mistakes, but I'll learn from them. You know what I mean? I'm not repeating
them. So next fight then is
in the Cayman Islands, mate.
The Cayman Islands.
Oh fuck yes, mate.
Forward to that.
The 15th of December. Is when it's meant to take place. It's all been approved. I've been approved for the WBA, and it took them 2 days later. So I don't know what kind of background checks they've done, but I must have passed something. You know what I mean? I think they're looking at a Rocky standpoint on it. The guy that's fucking come for nothing and done nothing, and can get a chance to be top 20 in the world. That's wild.
Have you had a look at the guy? Is he quite good?
15-1, 14 knockouts. On paper, he looks amazing. On paper, he's a big, scary monster. Do you know what I mean? He's not. I don't think he is anyway. He fought Arslan Makhmedov, you know, the big Canadian Russian. He fought him and shit a brick. Absolutely. I watched these fights, right, and everybody's on the street hiding away from him. Makhmedov ran at him. He just ran up straight away. Boom! Right hand was the first punch, and he shit a brick. He doesn't like to engage, and I'll force that out of him. It's unbelievable, right? But me and the history I've had, where I've came from, fucking who I am, I'm nothing. Do you know what I mean? I'm waiting for my dole money coming in so I can pay my rent. You know what I mean? And I've got a chance to be top 20 in the world with the WBA here if I beat this boy. You know what I mean?
Mad how
crazy, mate. It's crazy. No.
Never take it for granted. Always cherish what you've got.
No.
Have you any words you'd like to send out to any sponsors or anything like that? Or
maybe potential sponsors. I don't have any sponsors. I don't have any.
Right,
I don't have sponsors. No, I buy mine shorts.
You don't have any?
Mine shit. I fund mine camps. I live skint so that I can train. I've got a barber shop that I'm never in because I'm training 3 times a day.
How's the barber shop? How did that all come about? Like,
I've been barbering for about 4 years now, but so I was going to rent a room because the kind of boxing gym has little spaces for rental, and I was going to rent a room, and I was hemming and hawing, and I finally decided I was going to take it. And when I decided I was going to take it, the guy who's in it just now had already booked it. He's already done it, signed it. So I kind of went, oh fuck. And then I said to Sam, it ended up a bam up. It wasn't meant to be what it is. I was just going to rent a room and cut my clients, you know. And the guys that were in the cafe were moving out. And because I was disappointed, my defence is to go in joke mode. I'm like, well, I'll take a cafe back then. I'll turn that into a barber's. And Sam was laughing. Then we were just talking about my next upcoming fight. Well, the next day, they phoned me again. They said, Jay, do you reckon it could make it work? And just out of sheer ego, because I didn't know what he was talking about. I completely forgot. I was like, I'll make it fucking work. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, at the barber shop at the front of the gym, and I've just put myself in a corner. I'm like, I'll make it work. I'll fucking smash it in there. So I ended up building a barber shop in the front of the Kinnock boxing gym.
Wait, is it quite good response?
Right, mate, I only work Saturdays at the minute because of my training schedule through the week. But I do well enough. I do enough to eat.
There's probably quite a lot of people want to come in and get a haircut by you.
I've had a few times, just random people on Instagram message to come in for haircuts. Some of them have not got hair. You know what I mean? But they come in for a cut because they just want to hear stories. And the bizarre thing is, it's never fight stories. Nobody ever wants to hear fight stories or things about boxing. It's always the mad antics I've got up to. Or, do you know what I mean? It's always, but one day I'll have my own proper shop. I'll be retired for boxing. I'll have a few belts hanging on the walls, and I can just fucking cut hair and tell my stories. That's what I want to do.
There was just a comment there that said, "Showed your true talent against Kasim J. Finally used that lightning jab."
Thank you, mate. Was that Shugs? I seen that, I think. He's Shuggy's turning pro. Shuggy's going through his medicals and stuff now. He's an old Cliveview boy. He came through on the gym I came through as well. The old Bert Block.
Alright.
So
you used to train with Bert
Sherwood
Block,
died. We Robin McDermott died.
Me and my brother, we went there a couple of weeks back in the day.
So he died, and then I went to Bert's gym and I trained with Bert since I was 11 to, I don't know, later than that, 10, fucking, I don't know. I was there for a boy anyway and turned into a man there, and then Bert passed away as well, and that was the kind of point where I stopped training and just fought, because I couldn't. I had 15 coaches after that. 15 coaches after that, and one of the coaches was just myself. I would just go and train a bit and then fight, and I was successful enough, but I could never get anybody that I respected enough to listen to the way I listened to Bert, and I've got that now with Jerry. You know what I mean?
How did the team up with Jerry come about?
Everybody else in Scotland, right? So he was last in the pecking order. No, no. Me and Jerry have known each other for years and years as well, but I'd never trained with him. Obviously, I used to be with him quite a bit with sparring with David Jameson when I was cruiser.
Yeah.
And then it was just one day I was talking to Davey, and Davey said, "Come and just sit with us, just work with us for a bit. We'll get you fit." And I thought, why would I just work with you for a bit? Why don't I just work with you? So I asked Jerry. And he was hesitant at first because he knows the stories about I'm like turning up steaming, just fucking no taking it serious, no paying attention. He was hesitant and went, right, come on and train. And came on and trained, just clicked, you know what I mean? Just clicked straight away. And
you've got a good wee gym down there as well, haven't you? You've got David Jameson,
Jordan Grant's not there anymore.
A few boys as well.
No, Jordan split away. Just aye.
I
think he's better on the place. I don't know what fucking Jordan's all about, man. But I love Jordan, but it's man, but he's one of the thickest guys I've ever met in my life.
Potential.
But
when's the potential date for this next fight?
15th of December.
Are you allowed to say no? 15th of December. Are you back training already?
Obviously, I was not well. But after the fight, I went back into the gym Monday because I know if I don't, I'll be a couple of weeks. So I'm back into the gym Monday, trained Monday, I trained Tuesday, trained Wednesday, and then the illness just got over me. I was bedbound for 4 days. And being bedbound just because of the size I am and how active I was before, I've now got an injury in my back. So we're going through the process of fixing the injury in my lower back, and then I'll be full to my head. That'll be me. But I'm still training. I'm still doing stuff, even though I'm not. Well, this is the longest I've sat down. Well, don't get me wrong. Yesterday was rough as fuck because I was in a stag doing Friday. But this is the longest I've sat down. I've just been keeping myself moving, keep myself up and down, walking about the dog, and I just keep active because I can't train as much, you know. But no, this week I'm getting my strength and conditioning guys. I've also got a therapy side of things, so they're fixing my injury just now, so I'll be properly back Wednesday, probably, to be honest.
Well, whatever I can do, mate, sponsor wise, I'll try and push it for you and help you get potential sponsors, mate. And I'll hopefully catch up with you before the fight. Maybe catch up with you a few weeks before the fight and get a quick catch up and see how things are before it as well.
Definitely, mate. We'll meet up. We'll meet up and do an interview.
Yes, mate. Thanks very much for coming on.
And do a proper interview.
Sorry? Aye, mate, aye. That'll be good, mate. Thanks.
No problem.
Very much for coming on, mate. I appreciate your time.
No problem at all.
Right, bro, mate, take care of yourself. I'll catch up with you soon, mate, alright? Cheers, champ. Cheers. Bye-bye.